the love of the world, that he gave his only son, that whosoever believeth in him should not perish, but have everlasting life.
What is up, people? I'm so happy to see you all right now. It's kind of a refresher, you know? I mean, I can't literally see you. You just see me. I'm just speaking to an inanimate object. But I feel as if I'm speaking to you. I feel as if you're here right now and I'm talking to you face to face and I'm sharing my heart with you. Everything that I'm about to say is just coming straight from my heart, and I hope you feel the things that I'm saying or can relate in some type of way, because the last couple of weeks have been really difficult for me. I was trying to do some videos on evil, but I couldn't bring myself to do it because I just looked at the whole George Floyd incident and it really just sat on my heart for a really long time. Like, I just watched a man die unjustly, get murdered right in front of my face. You know, like half a century ago, they didn't have all this technology where you just can video record something and it will be on the internet forever. No, like today we see these things and we're so desensitized to actual evil that goes on in the world that we often forget, like, people, they actually die. Like, oh man. Like, I watched the video like 2 times and my heart just cried out both times. Like, I wanted to do something about it. Like, inside of me was screaming, get off of him, please get off of him, he's dying, he can't breathe, please just get off of him. And I just wanted to come to tears and just cry because, like, a life was lost and then he just sat there and nothing, he's gone. And like that just really broke my heart. And then after that, the protests were going on and the Black Lives Matter movement. The core of that is to just bring awareness to the injustice that African Americans face in America. But like, people take that and then they change it, you know? They change the message, and then you get people, the very small few people who go out and they riot and they destroy. I watch many people lose their lives. Like, people getting stomped to death just trying to protect their store, or getting beat by pieces of wood, or being shot over a television. You know, like, it's nonsense. It's nonsense, but that's evil happening right in front of my eyes. There's like chaos everywhere and destruction of businesses and homes and of people and their lives, their souls. And I'm seeing all of this over the internet, and it's like a lot to take in. So the last couple of weeks was hard. It was really hard to just realize that there's evil in this world. There's racism. There's people who are racist. There is overt discrimination still existing in this world. People go out and they murder people just because of their pride, you know? Like, it still exists, and I thought that I thought that it was gone, but no, it's still our reality today. And then my mind started to wander to different forms of evil, like moral evil and natural evil, and like what I've experienced in my life. The two biggest forms of evil that I've experienced in my life that had the biggest impact on me was, one, my father dying before I was born. Like, he was shot and he was killed over a sly comment that one of my dad's friends said. So the guy, he decides to just shoot up everybody, and my dad dies. And then I had to grow up without a father. I had to grow up without knowing my dad's side of the family, most of them. I had to grow up with that. I had to grow up with a mom trying to do it all by herself, and she did a pretty good job, but still, like, watching her suffer, and then I'm suffering on top of that, living in a fatherless household just because of someone else's evil. I have to suffer with the consequences of that. And then many years later, when I was like 9 years old, my grandma dying from breast cancer. Like, that was a mind blower to me because I haven't experienced anything like that. Like, her life was taken out of her hands. Everything she knew was gone. She had to go through chemo. She couldn't do anything about the breast cancer. But I watched her for years just slowly deteriorate and finally just die. Like, there's it's evil and people suffer. People are in pain. And then I thought a little bit more about it, and like, I realized that I'm just as capable as committing evil actions just as anyone else is. Like, I've hurt some people's feelings before I knew Jesus. But like, reflecting on before I knew Jesus, I sincerely hurt people's feelings. I give you like two examples. I made a person believe I was dead simply because I felt like they wasn't paying enough attention to me. So I said, hey, you not paying enough attention to me, I'm going to make you believe that I'm dead, and then I'm going to watch you suffer. And I did that. That was like flat out evil and deceptive and lying. I remember around teenage years, I said a couple of things behind my little brother's back, and just just to realize that he was on the steps listening to me, and it's something I still regret to today. And I hurt his feelings, even though what I said wasn't like wasn't true, wasn't in my heart, because I loved him sincerely, but I was just trying to be cool. But like, that really hurts him. And those were just like lies and deceptions. Like, actions are even worse. Like, can you think of a completely evil person, a person that has no type of good in him or her? Can you imagine that? Like, they won't care about anyone. They only care about themselves. They will readily murder anyone or torture anyone just because they feel like it, or pit other people down and tear them down. Watch as their lives are destroyed and just creating chaos everywhere. Can you imagine a completely evil person? Like, after this video, try to imagine that, a completely evil person. Like, what would they do? And for me, that's like, it's scary. And it's even more scary that I'm capable of doing all of that. But in the midst of all this evil and chaos that's going on now, I can't help but to think, like, where's God in all of this? Where's God? Where's the God that I believe in, right? Like, over history, you just see so many people die, so many people experience pain, experience suffering because of their own hands or not. They just are in it. There's evil, it's present, and it's real, and it has an active presence on people's lives. Well, where's God? If he's all good and all loving and all powerful, where is he? Mao, in less than 2 years, killed 78 million people just because he felt like it. Hitler killed 12 million people just because he felt like it. Leopold II killed 8 million people just because he felt like. Stalin, 7 million people just because he felt like it. 9 million people die from starvation every year, and 12 million people die from disease or cancer every single year. There's natural disasters as well. Like, so many people go through so much evil in the world, but where is God in all of this? Like, where is he? But despite all this evil that's going on, in my heart, I tell God this: God, I don't understand why there's evil in this world. I don't understand why you allow it to roam free. God, I don't get why you allow me to suffer. But Lord, I trust you. And I know why I trust you. And I trust you in the darkness. And I have a reason to do that, God. I do. That's why I tell God in my heart. Just, let's use an example, for instance. Let's say you're in the middle of a war. Let's use the Civil War. And you're on the side of the resistance against slavery. And the resistance leader comes up to you and says, hey, I only have a few hours with you. You're probably never going to see me again. But I need you to have absolute trust in me. There are going to be some things that may seem counterintuitive, like I'm working against the cause of abolishing slavery. And there's going to be some things that seem in line, but no matter what, I'm going to need you to trust me in darkness. And I can't tell you everything right now, and I cannot tell you my full plan, but I have one and it's going to work, but I need you to trust me and do exactly what I do or say. Do exactly what I say. And over the years, you may see the resistance leader like sit back and watch slavery happen or be on the side of slavery, and you're like, what is this guy doing? I thought he was fighting against slavery. Like, what is this guy doing? And then sometimes it may seem like, oh, he did that because by doing that he could free a whole bunch of people from slavery. But at the end of it, you see his whole plan, and you know that everything he did was for a certain purpose, and it came all together for good. Like, that's the same thing with God. We won't know why he allows evil or specific circumstances to happen until all of this is over. We won't know that. And if he tries to explain it to us, we can't even possibly comprehend that. But we have to trust God in the darkness. And I say that in my heart. And there's a lot of evidence for God, but why I trust God is because of Jesus, God in the flesh. Jesus, many people, he's God. He's God, and he's also man. He's God in the flesh. Many people ignore his humanity and only look at the supernatural aspects of him, the godly aspects of him. But Jesus, he suffered alongside of us. He experienced the consequences of evil alongside of us. He wept alongside of us. He had sorrow alongside of us. He had pain alongside of us. Like, let's just take the crucifixion for example. When he was praying before the crucifixion incident happened, he was so stressed out. He was in anguish because he knew what was about to happen. He knew the injustice that was about to happen to him, the unfairness that was about to happen, the evil that was about to happen. And he was so stressed out about that situation, and he was so sorrowful that he started to sweat blood. Imagine sweating blood. And then after that, he gets arrested by some soldiers for for nothing. Absolutely nothing. And then he's sent, and then he's sentenced to death by crucifixion by his own people. He was completely innocent, and even Pontius Pilate said that he was completely innocent, so he washed his hands clean from that and said the Jews were responsible for his death. And then he was beaten right after that. He was scourged. And if you don't know what that means, it's you're tied up to a post by your hands, and your feet are on the ground, and they whip you. And they whip you with these, it's a very short whip, and it has like bones, glass, little hooks in it, and they tear your first part of the flesh, and then they get up under your fat, and then they start tearing your muscles all the way from your shoulders on your back all the way down to your ankles. Jesus went through that. He went through all of that. So he's losing a lot of blood. You can almost see his bone on his back. And then right after that, they throw a crown of thorns on his head. The thorns are like 2 inches long, and they shove it down on his head. Now he's losing blood from his head as well. And then they tie him to the crossbar, not the full cross, but just the bar, like the horizontal one. They tie him to that and says, you have to walk to where you're going to be crucified. So he walks and falls down. And imagine the bar is like, it's wooden, and it's about 100 pounds, and he falls down. Like, imagine 100 pounds on your back, like on your neck area. You can't get up. You need help. You fall right down on your face and on your chest. But he manages to get up with some help, and he goes to the site where he's going to be crucified, and then he's nailed to the wood, and he's nailed right here on his on his hands, and in his feet, and then he's hanging there with every breath. It's excruciating. It's painful with every single breath, and he's sitting there for like 3 hours. He has to lift up on his hands and his feet just to get a breath. It's painful, and then when he rests back down, it's painful because he's hanging from his hands, and his back is scratching up where he just been whipped at, and he's losing a lot of blood. His back is scraping up and down against that for hours. I don't know how many splinters this guy had, but he suffered all of that. He went through all that pain, all that injustice, all that suffering. And he went through all of that for us. He suffered alongside of us. And even though he was God, he said, this is more important, that I die for my people. That was more important to him. At any time, he could have said, enough. But he didn't. He died for us anyway. So, the injustice that we're seeing now, the racism, the discrimination, the evil, the destruction, the chaos that we're seeing now, the destruction of the families, the unfairness that we're seeing, everything that we're seeing, all the pain that we're having, all the suffering that we're experiencing, all the evil and chaos in the world, Jesus suffered more, being completely innocent. He went through more pain than anyone ever on the planet. He went through more suffering than anyone on the planet. And he's right here beside each and every one of us saying, I'm here with you, and I died for you. And he died for us so that we could spend eternity without all the discrimination, without all the racism, without all the evil, without the destruction of the family, without the chaos around us, without the cancer and disease, without death, without every single evil thing. We can spend eternity with him in life and love and joy and peace and all of that. That's why he died for us, so we can experience that. He did it for us. He did it for us. I cannot stress that enough. So even though I'm in the darkness and I feel like there's no hope with all this evil in the world, I know that there's light in the darkness, and the light is in Jesus. The truth is in Jesus. The hope is in Jesus. The life that we're all living for, longing for, the destruction that we're seeing, we're wanting justice for it. All of that is in Jesus. So please go to him. And in light of the evil in the past couple of weeks that we've all experienced, I'm going to be doing a couple more videos on evil, such as like what exactly is evil, the nature of evil, why God allows evil in the world, like videos like that for the next couple of weeks. So every Thursday and Sunday, be tuned in to that around 12 o'clock. I'll be posting every Thursday and Sunday, so you can be looking forward to that. And beyond that, I post every single day on my quiet time, the quiet time that I have with God in the mornings or at night. So I post what God reveals to me in my heart during our quiet time, so hopefully you can learn something from that as well. It's amazing, all the little things that God has in his word. It's just awesome, and it brings me a whole bunch of joy and peace as well, and assurance. I also want to say, please subscribe if you haven't already. This is really, really important that you're refreshed by the word if you're a Christian. And if you're not, that's okay. I want to keep giving you reasons to believe in God. So please subscribe and like and comment so that other people can also get the message of the gospel. And we're in this together. I'm trying to share the gospel with people. I'm trying to give the truth to people so that they can get closer to God. So if you don't want to do that yourself, just share my videos. But you personally, go to God every single day. Read his word. Pray to him often. Build that relationship with him. And go out, make disciples, and share the gospel with people. And the baseline of all that is your relationship with God. So live righteously. Do what is acceptable to God. It's really important that you do that and you're an active Christian and not a passive Christian. So please, please do that. I love you all, and hopefully I will see you in my next videos about evil.